Recording.
We are recording, and we are recording.
Cheers. Cheers, sir.
Cheers.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah. We took last week off. Why? Because our buddy's in town, and
We had to go chill with the homie.
you know what? As much as we love you guys,
We love him less.
well, as much as we love you guys, it's. I think it's important that we take time to spend with the guys
With the crew.
with the crew. So
No, for sure. It's always good when they come down and see us, the peasants, from their North Carolina mansion.
I hope you texted Jackson today.
No, I left him a message saying happy birthday. So happy birthday, Jackson. I know he's probably already gotten in trouble a whole bunch
He
of
got
times.
a new phone.
Oh, did he? Oh, give me the number so I can start prank calling him.
All right, we'll do.
But yeah, we took last week off. I don't think we wanted to take the whole week off, but we did.
No, it wasn't the plan.
But you ended up missing out on some super killer ice cream. We went out for ice cream after we had it was so good.
You went to
Proper ice cream.
Proper ice cream. Is it like proper 12 whiskey?
That's the first thing I thought of. Was like, really?
But then no, they've been around before proper
Yeah.
12. They've been around for years, actually.
With that ice cream store? No.
Yeah, no, they
Really?
have. Yeah,
I've never heard of
They
it.
were in a different location, but they've been around for years.
No, listen, it was hands down some of the best ice cream I ever had.
Did you have these nuts?
No, but that
Were you
caused-
tempted by these nuts?
that caused so much commotion. So, if you guys saw any of the Instagram stories that I posted last week, I went to this ice cream store with Tom and the family, and they have a huge list of ice cream flavors, and one of them was these nuts. And the boys, obviously, not that we're that much different, but the boys just started going crazy, and they were just kind of giggling to each other, and they didn't want to say it out loud because there's adults there. And I'm like, if you guys are going to start talking about these nuts, at least say it out loud. And they just burst out laughing. And it became a 5-minute, just montage of me throwing the word these nuts into a sentence and making them, super embarrassed. Even the girl behind the counter was cracking up, and she was trying not to laugh because it was just such an immature thing to do.
Well, I'm sure, and they probably get it every single fucking day.
For sure, but they don't get, someone ripping into, these teenagers for 5 minutes straight.
They're not teenagers.
Preteens. They're old enough already.
Jackson just became a preteen today.
Yeah. So, shout out to him. But anyway, if you're down there in Delray, go check out Proper Ice Cream.
Ice Cream.
It is really fucking solid. I saw you noticing my ET.
I noticed your ET Atari 2600 game.
So that...
I actually played that when it came out.
Did you?
Yeah, my buddy Joe had it. And I played the game, and it was terrible.
Oh, it's
it kept
absolute
falling
dog
down
shit.
this pit.
Yeah. It's absolute dog shit. So if you're not watching on the YouTube channel, I procured many years ago a full box and game of the ET extraterrestrial game from Atari, which is hands down considered the worst video game of all time. And I think it's also the first movie licensed video game of all time. I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
And
Pitfall was supposed to be Raiders of the Lost Ark.
was it? That I didn't know. But anyway, the game they made so many copies, and the game was such a failure that the I guess the company, what would you say, the company that created the game just riled them all up, put them all together in a dump truck.
Well,
drove
they didn't
them.
rile. They got a bunch of returns because they weren't selling.
Well, they got the returns, and they got the whole stock of it, and went out to the desert, and they bared it.
Not the whole stock, just the ones that didn't sell.
Whatever they didn't buy, which is 90% of it. And
I was so excited for that game too.
I'm sure tons of people were. Here's what I don't get. It says E.T. the extraterrestrial, but isn't E.T. extraterrestrial?
No, the extraterrestrial. It is the
Right, but the letters E.T. means extraterrestrial.
Yes.
So when you're saying extraterrestrial, the extraterrestrial.
Yes, you are.
That's kind of stupid.
But E.T. just became his name.
Yeah. It's funny. You ever see when they redo the trailers and they make it look like a horror movie?
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of the good ones. But anyway,
I won't watch E.T. again.
I would never watch it, especially because they redid it. But,
no, they didn't redo it.
Yeah, they redid it.
Oh, remastered it?
They remastered it, and they got rid of all the guns and turned them into walkie-talkies.
They did not.
You didn't know this?
No.
Yeah, they re-released it. Steven Spielberg went back and he had digitized all the one because like the scene where he goes and he takes off on the bike and stuff, all the cops are there. They're pointing guns at little kids and stuff. So they went and they redid it and they got rid of the guns and they turned them into walkie-talkies.
Ridiculous. But that's not why I see it. That movie broke my heart as a kid.
Super sad, right?
Super sad.
You ever see when Family Guy makes fun of it?
I don't remember, no.
There's a scene, like, obviously, on Family Guy, they do all the skits and stuff. So one of the guys has AIDS, and E.T. comes up. E.T. comes up, and he's, like, about to cure him. He's like, no, sorry, no. He's like, I don't want your AIDS. You keep them. But, yeah, anyway, so they dumped this game, and it's not too hard to find, but it's hard to find the original box with the manual and everything, and I somehow managed to get it. I bought a giant box of video games from this kid years ago when I was collecting video games, and I sold them all, but this one I kept just because of the
There was a few games on the
factor.
2600 that I loved.
Pong.
No, I liked Pitfall. Pitfall was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong wasn't on there. Mm-hmm. On the Atari?
Yep, they had a Donkey Kong. They had a Pac-Man that didn't really turn. He always stayed facing to the right.
Yeah.
But my favorite game was a game called Kaboom.
Kaboom.
And it was, you played it with the paddles, not the joystick.
Yeah, the knobs.
The knob. And what it was is a guy would drop bombs, and you had like these 3 troughs that you caught them in. And you would
spin it, yeah.
spin it back and forth, catching them.
See, I went like super old school. I had an Atari.
That is an Atari.
Not an Atari, I mean an Amiga. I had an Amiga growing up. And I played tons of games.
I think Amiga came out after the Atari.
It came out way after, and then I remember we had some kind of game system that it used. It was a computer, but it used tapes, almost like 8-track tapes instead of.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, like I mean, even the Atari, they're cartridges, but it was almost like literally like a magnetic tape that you would put in there. It was, I mean, I was a kid, but yeah.
Asteroids. Asteroids
was fun, but I played a bunch of different other games. I remember there was like an Olympic game where you could go horse jumping, like it was equestrian and skiing and all this stuff. It was cool, man. It's kind of weird when you look at how far the video game scene has grown in 30 years.
Did I ever tell you the story about my nephew?
No.
So, my godson, he's totally into Xbox.
Right.
And he would whoop my ass in Call of Duty, like the version where you hunt each other.
Yeah, well, they all do.
Yeah. But whoop my ass. Like, he memorized every
map.
It was ridiculous.
It happened. Yeah.
Well, one time his aunt brought over a Super Nintendo that had Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah, schooled.
I whooped him 87-0.
You really?
Yes.
He must have been wicked pissed.
He wasn't wicked pissed, but he was. Well, no, actually, he was, because I started rubbing it in.
Yeah.
Because what I wanted him to have is a taste of his own medicine, because that's what he would do.
Right.
I'd be like I would die, I would spawn.
And he would just spawn.
He would kill me, right? He knew where I was going to spawn.
Asshole. That's the worst.
So and he would rub it in, so I started rubbing it in, and he got a little pissed.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened to the best of us. When you get your ass kicked in a video game, it happens. But no, it's funny to see how much the video game industry has grown in the last just like 30 years alone. It's kind of crazy.
I remember for my 23rd birthday.
That was like ages ago.
Yeah, over 20 years. For my 23rd birthday, 22 years ago, Tracy got me the original Sony PlayStation.
Nice.
And I got Resident Evil.
Right.
And I would sit there for hours playing this game, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. This is a video game?
Yeah, the graphics and stuff.
And the graphics were
An amazing back
terrible compared to today, but back then,
oh yeah,
the Sony PlayStation was beyond anything that, you know.
Yeah.
And then I got the first Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That game was so awesome.
That game was fun. And it's funny. It's funny when you look back to see all the little things that set people off, like Mortal Kombat set people off. Tomb Raider was like, oh, that's super sexist. It's just
you want to hear something funny about, and this may make me sexist, but I don't care. I don't like playing games where I am a female.
Why?
Because I
can't relate to her.
Well, you know what it is I like to lose myself in the game. Like I like to pretend that that's me.
Right.
And I could never do it with a woman.
Well, I mean, it's not like there's that many.
That was the one.
I mean, besides fighting games, that was like the only other one.
Yeah, whenever I pick a fighting game, I'll pick any character but the woman.
Okay, but like, I mean, you can't tough it out and play Tomb Raider as the woman? Is it really throwing you off that much? Are you that insecure?
No, it had nothing to do with that. It's just I couldn't really get into.
I get you.
Lose myself in the game.
I understand, but
like the game that I lost myself in was The Last of Us.
Never heard of that.
It's an incredible game.
The Last of Us?
The Last of Us.
Right.
It came out within the last 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
It's a zombie movie.
Oh, that's
zombie
probably
game,
why. Yeah.
But it's the most incredible zombie game I've ever played. There's a story. Like you are, and like the decisions you make affect the
outcome.
The outcome.
Yeah.
Such a cool game.
Well, that's why I got sucked into Red Dead Redemption. That game is so good. It is so good. I'm about to finish it right now. Because I used to play video games a lot. I used to just be a complete video game nerd, and then I realized how much time I wasted. Now I kind of just save it for the weekends and just kill like an hour or two.
I'll go in and out of video game addiction.
Yeah.
Like I'll play it for a week and a half straight, and then I won't play it for a year. Like I was Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I was addicted.
The Black Flag one was really good. Yeah, that one was really good.
That one, and then Arkham Asylum.
That's a good game.
That one I was like...
The last time I really, really got sucked into a game was Skyrim. Skyrim sucked.
I did not like it at all.
I lost a full year to that game because I was just so into it. I didn't even bother playing the storyline. I would just go into all the different side treks and stuff like that. It was such a good game. But it is what it is. No more video games. I cut it down tremendously now. It's just kind of like my weekend treat.
I might eventually get the PS4 just so I could download Tony Hawk, the original Tony Hawk.
The original one? I mean, you can just go ahead and buy an old PlayStation and just do it.
Yeah, I know, but I'd like to be able to use it for other things than just...
Yeah. Well, the PS4 is a good one. I mean, I'm not getting into an argument between PS4 and Xbox. I think they're both good. It's just whatever your preference is, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, we got a lot to catch up on, huh? TJ Dillashaw, suspended for 2 years.
Suspended for 2 years.
2 years for, I forget what was the drug.
EPO.
Was it EPO? No.
Yes.
So, he just gave up. One day he just showed up. It's like, I'm going to relinquish the belt. They found something, and before they can go and bust me, I'm going to go ahead and...
Smart move.
It's a smart move because then it's kind of like they can't say, oh, he was champion and got busted. He was like former champion found to have it. So it's...
Well, I don't even think it's that. I just think he's got to go on that mea culpa tour. I'm sorry. My bad.
I think it's one of those things like... And he only had to pay a $10,000 fine, which is bullshit. Like, you fought with... like having the violation. Yeah, it's EPO. Recombinant human erythropoietin, if that's how you even say
doping.
it.
EPO
yeah.
is...
So he was doping. I mean, he still lost to Henry Cejudo, but I mean, that clearly means he was doing it for all the other fights too. It's not just, I'm fighting Henry Cejudo. Let me start juicing.
That's not like all of a sudden I'm doing it for this fight.
Yeah.
And he could say that because he's never been popped.
Yeah. But
everyone's gonna look back.
Once you get questioned once, everything else that you've done in the past becomes
it tarnishes
questioned.
your legacy.
But do you think...
what's funny is it doesn't tarnish John Jones's legacy because John Jones doesn't outpower people, or like he's not.
Well, I mean, that's not true. He like outmuscled Chael. He outmuscled another juice head.
Yeah, no, I don't really. I just think John Jones out techniqued everybody he's fought. Out techniqued him.
I think the whole thing that happened with the whole picogram thing is kind of a small way of getting back into everybody's like graces and stuff like that. But I mean, nah, he was still juicing. He still was doing stuff.
Yeah. Well,
allegedly.
Yeah.
Well, allegedly my ass. Do you think that there could ever really be a format in which everyone in jiu-jitsu gets tested at tournaments?
No.
Not
Never.
Unless it becomes like a UFC style organization.
They can't afford to test everybody.
But here's the thing, like they do it for powerlifting competitions. They did it. I watched them do it. I went to a like one of those natural powerlifter competitions up in Orlando, and I watched this girl compete, and as soon as she was done like lifting, somebody came up and said, you come with me. Right then and there, they went and they go and tested her. So, I mean, obviously the results aren't going to come back till later, but they pulled them aside right then and there.
Some people, like, that's why Jiao Miao got popped.
Yeah.
You know, or was it Jiao or was
Paulo.
it Paulo?
I think it was Paulo.
I can't remember. Whichever Miao that didn't do it, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, it's the upper echelon top guys that they test.
Yeah. But even then, not all the time, because there's been some higher echelon guys that you look like for sure you're juicing, bud. For sure. And even what happened, who was it that was it Felipe Pena, like a couple years ago? He won the championship, and then a year later they're like, oh, by the way, like you tested positive, so now your championship's revoked after he already spent a year making money doing seminars and stuff as the champion.
Well, Felipe just got his shit busted.
Yeah, well,
by Tex.
Tex is the one of the only 4 people to ever submit him.
Really?
Yeah. So
Tex Johnson, is that his last name?
I think so. I can't think today. I'm so far gone.
I watched that Kasai. We'll get into that, but let's stick with the UFC. Here's the thing. I say let them all fucking juice. Let them all juice.
Though?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I say.
Would you do that in the Olympics too? Then, like, say everybody juice
no,
in the Olympics.
The Olympics would be the one thing that I think it should be 100% clean. But if you're a professional athlete, there's no. Here's the thing. Everybody talks about a level playing field. There's no such thing as a level playing field.
You're either good or you're not.
Well, it's not even that. It's just some people win the genetic lottery.
Right.
How are you supposed? How are you supposed to compete with that? Say you were ultra heavy division, and you had to work to keep weight on, to stay in there, to stay strong, to stay. Where me, this is who I am.
But right, see, in that regards though, that's always been my gripe with Absolute. Say it was an even playing field, right? Let's say we were both black belts for whatever reason. My technique, again, this is all hypothetical. Clearly, it's not the case. Let's say my technique is 10 times better than yours, but you got 150 pounds on me. Now we go and we compete in Absolute, and you're just so heavy. All you got to do is lay on me. You don't do shit. You just lay on me.
That's Absolute. Unfortunately, the bottom line.
But is that really is that fair then?
Well, yeah, because they knew what they were getting into. They knew they were getting into a
open weight category.
Open weight.
But does that mean you're better than I am? You're a world champion, but all you did was just lay on me.
Well, here's the thing. Size, so superior skill will trump size. But
not every time.
Well, let me finish. But if skills are similar, size definitely matters.
I mean,
if like in the black belt division, there are levels to the black belt division, obviously.
But I think once you get to like a 40-pound plus range in difference in weight, it doesn't matter if we're in the same like skill level. you have that advantage. I mean, that's what I'm saying, plain and simple.
Well, I have an advantage, but if we're this, in the same skill, again, it comes down to skills. Do I think I could hang with Leandro Lowe in a match? No.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I outweigh him by
But again, that's
50, 60 pounds.
But that's still different skill levels. I'm saying if we're on the same skill level and you have those 50, 60 pounds, then you have the advantage, but you're not going to use it really other than just laying down on someone.
But no, look at Leandro Lowe and Bouchecha. They had matches before.
Yeah, but they're still same weight.
No, they are not.
They had matches in the same weight class.
Bouchecha has been ultra heavyweight.
Yeah, but they've had matches in the same weight class.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Leandro Lowe was tiny.
They did. There was like the card last year. Was that Russian card? What the hell is it? No, that wasn't that one. There was.
Well, it might have been an over 100 kilos, less than 100 kilos
Right.
kind of a thing.
But see,
But that's not the same. I'm talking about weight division.
Okay, so what about when we're talking about, let's say, what's his name? Orlando. Right? Is it Orlando?
Orlando Sanchez?
Yeah. When he won ADCC.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he outweighed people by like 60, 70 pounds.
I don't know. But he lost the next year.
Yeah, that's the next year.
So, some years are your years, some years aren't your years.
Because that's the thing that bugs me when I see like, it's not the gripe mostly in the black belt divisions. It's like in the lower divisions, like blue belts and purple belts. If I get a blue belt in an open weight division and they're 130 pounds and I come in, I weigh 220. It's like, yeah, like maybe the lower belt is really, really good, but at the end of the day, I just got to get you down once. And that's it. And then I just lay down on top of you the whole time.
It depends.
Does that really, wouldn't you be pissed?
I don't know. It depends because I've tried to I tried to keep Mikey down before.
Yeah, but again, that's a whole different skill level.
Yeah, but that was when Mikey was a purple belt and I was no, he was a blue belt.
Yeah, but you didn't go hammer down on him.
No, of course not.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess. But I guarantee you, I wouldn't be able to do shit to him now.
Right, but again, that's still different, skill levels. That's what I'm saying. That's what bugs me on that certain occasion.
But you know what you're getting into.
Yeah, and that's
your
that's
choice.
the counter argument. But it's still kind of like, don't get cocky if you outweighed someone by 100 pounds. Because I've seen it in girls divisions where the girl weighs one girl weighs a solid 220, and then she's going against the other girls that are 115, 120. You're not really that good. You're just a little bit bigger than everybody else.
No, I agree. I agree. If you win because of your size,
then to me that's not really a win.
It's a win. It's just it's not something you should.
Yeah.
You're expected to win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
If I go to sign up for a sumo match and I get my ass kicked, it's expected to happen.
To see, if you're, a heavyweight or super heavyweight and you beat a rooster weight or whatever, don't beat your chest.
Yeah.
And point to your team. It's expected.
Don't thank gay Jesus. Yeah.
So it's like, but as far as the UFC's concerned, I'd let them juice. I like baseball better when everybody's juicing.
Well, I mean, everybody's juicing in baseball anyway.
So make it legal. Who cares?
I think it's more because, granted,
you want purity of the game.
I don't think it's purity of the game. It's probably more of a bad example because, let's say
people are going to do it anyways.
Right, but people are going to do it anyways. But if they saw one of their heroes, they know that they're juicing, but they don't understand the specifics of what they're using. They're just going to go and get.
Well, they don't have to make it specific. They just don't.
But think about it this way.
Test.
Think of it if there's a little kid, right? Let's say there's little Timmy, 10 years old, 12 years old, 15, whatever. He sees so-and-so, that's his star, that's his hero. And he finds out, he's juicing. Oh, I'm going to juice too. Well, Timmy doesn't know that there's a whole program and a series of things you have to do, and you have to cycle, and then you have to take estrogen blockers. I'm just going to find steroids, and I'm going to take steroids.
That's not true because when I was a kid, I loved The Ultimate Warrior. I loved Hulk Hogan. I didn't know anything about juicing.
Yeah, but that's you. But that's what
Most people are the same. Most people under 10 aren't thinking about steroids. It's when you hit the teens or the
Right, well,
teens
that's what I'm
start
saying.
going, all right, that dude's juicing.
Yeah, but I mean, fuck, I remember in high school, football players and even baseball players are already juicing. I remember seeing like
That changed from when I was in high school.
oh, for sure.
Nobody was juicing when I was in high school.
No, because nobody knew about it. It was I think maybe it was
I did have one
talked
guy
about.
that used to play football games on acid.
Oh, that's like Strawberry, Daryl Strawberry in baseball.
And I was a junior when he was a senior, and he's like, "You want to hit acid?" I go, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, it's awesome before the game." I'm like, "I'm not tripping for the first time ever
I
before
couldn't
a
even
football
imagine
game."
that. How would you even be able to do that? I don't
I
know
don't
how.
know.
Yeah, I don't know how you could function, especially in a high speed impact sport like that while tripping out.
He did.
How could you even gauge things? I mean, I'm sure it gives you some kind of mental clarity through the whole situation. Was he good?
He was a 5'7" lineman that was like 180 pounds. He was tiny, but he was like a little pit bull.
But was he any good?
Not really.
Oh, well, that was probably the acid. Probably would have done somewhat decent if it wasn't for all the acid.
No, he wasn't bad. He just wasn't. He's tiny for his position.
Yeah.
He should have been playing football.
Should have been the little running back.
Yeah, that would have been a better position if he was fast.
That's a bad coaching decision then. So let's etch this out. So talking about Kasai, did you hear what happened with BJJ Scout?
Yes.
So for those of you that don't know, BJJ Scout is an Instagram account where they post up clips from different jiu-jitsu and grappling matches. A lot of the times they'll analyze it. Sometimes they'll just throw clips out there just to obviously share the content. Well, with the Tex versus Penna match, they posted a clip of the submission with a breakdown of the submission, which was cool. And FloGrappling went and claimed a copyright on them and got the entire channel shut down.
Which I think is, well, here's the thing. They must have had other violations.
Oh, they probably
For
had
that
tons
to
and
happen.
tons of footage. They had tons and tons of footage for sure.
Right, but they don't just you don't just get shut down your first.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's the same thing actually happened to Lisa Pix.
I don't know. I don't.
You know her. She's a very good photographer. She's a popular photographer in the jiu-jitsu scene out of California. She posted a clip of a UFC match. I think she's done like once or twice, and the UFC pulled a copyright claim on her and got her account shut down. She had like 27,000 followers. So now she's got to start all over after like years of putting in work to try and get the followers. And it'll be obviously a little bit easier to get back up there again. But I mean, that's a big hit, especially for a photographer. Instagram is your go-to nowadays. But they did it to BJJ Scout, completely took it down. And the funny part is I found out through Reddit. I was on Reddit and it popped up. Man, people were shitting on FloGrappling. And I've shit on FloGrappling before because of my own gripes that I have for them. But they went in on Highwell Teague and FloGrappling in a whole. Because Highwell is the one that runs FloGrappling.
Yeah, I saw this whole thing about the
movie
about red belts.
Yeah, so he did a fundraiser for a movie about red belts. He got $17,000 in funding, took the money and never released a video. Supposedly there's footage, never released anything. So people gave this guy 17 grand, and you know it's probably never going to see the light of day. I'm sorry, but if I took $17,000 from someone, I better have a fucking good quality movie out there, because I would sit there. Shit, man. If you were really, really going to go all out on filming a movie about red belts, in travel alone, you would probably rank up 10 grand fairly easy. I mean, there's not that many red belts
No, they're all in
in Brazil.
Brazil.
I mean, there's 1 and 2 in California. So you're still gonna, and that's even worse because he is in California, so he doesn't need to travel that far. But even if you go to Brazil, I mean that's gonna be a couple of grand. But $17,000 worth a year later and then some, and you still don't have anything, you owe people their fucking money back, for sure.
Well, then I guess they would have to take it up with.
Well, it depends on how you do it. If you
Well, and you don't know. You might be working on it still.
there's nothing out there. So what happened is they pulled a copyright claim on BJJ Scout, got the account shut down. Obviously, BJJ Scout is back on now, so go ahead and follow BJJ Scout and show your support. But it kind of pissed me off, and I've done a lot of work with the digital copyrights just from being in the music industry. So, and there's still a lot of confusion on what is allowed and what isn't allowed. It definitely plays along it tiptoes the line.
Yeah, because you're buying
legality.
if you have a
Here's the thing.
subscription to something.
Right. If I go and I share the content, if I just rip the content and post it up, that is copyright infringement, 100%. I am distributing content that it was not mine. However, if I'm using that for instructional purposes, that is allowed. You can take that claim. You obviously still have to put in credit and things like that. Like you have to
Which
say,
I'm sure BJJ Scout did.
Well, I didn't get to watch it see how it was on Instagram as to why I got thrown out, because obviously Instagram and Facebook are one thing now. But my gripe is we're in a niche community.
We
right?
should be helping each other.
We should be helping each other. It's already tough enough to get the word out there about jiu-jitsu. So now you have somebody that is not only supporting your event by talking about it, but is also analyzing a really historic moment in the sport and distributing it and using it as an educational tool for other people. Why would you take that down? Why, at the very most, you'd be a friend about it and say, hey, listen, man, we don't want you to share our content. Can you please take it down? Give them at least that first shot, Don't just say, oh, you know what? You've been doing this for years. Now I'm going to give you a big fuck you moment, and I'm going to take you down.
Yeah, well, I even think it's not like it's not like BJJ Scout is making money off of what they're doing. Or they might be making a little bit. How many followers did they have?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head.
Because it takes a lot of followers to monetize
an account.
An account.
I mean, not necessarily. You can monetize an account and have only a couple of hundred followers, but if you're talking about an Instagram, you can still monetize it and have 100 people. You can still make money off of it. You can still have ads and stuff like that.
How can you have ads on?
You're thinking about YouTube in comparison.
No, I'm thinking about Instagram. This was on Instagram or YouTube?
Yeah, you can. All you got to do is pay for it. You can have a sponsored ad and you can just put it up there. Hey, $20.
Yeah, but what does it get you? What is?
It depends. If when I did the shirts, or even when I
post. Right, but what are they selling?
BJJ Scout?
Yeah.
I think that they have a couple other things like finger tape and mouth guards and things along those lines. But at the end of the day,
yeah, but that's really not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about monetizing it where they're getting paid because of the content that they have.
Well, they're not.
Right. People aren't buying subscriptions. No, they're not looking for ad space on they're not looking for ad space on their Instagram account. Mm-hmm. So what are they? How is it selling? What are they?
You don't need to monetize it for it to be copyright infringement.
No, I understand. I get it. I understand.
All right, so what's your point?
What I'm saying is they're not taking anything away from FloGrappling by having that up there, except
technically that's not true.
Somebody the only thing that they're taking away is somebody who would have joined just to see that one thing.
Right. Well, think about it this way. When you see a boxing match, how often do you see highlights of the actual video of the boxing match the next day? Very rarely. You'll see the photos.
Well, here's the question. How does ESPN get away with showing
contracts? I mean, they pay for it. You pay for distribution.
Yeah, but they didn't used to. What about the news? the news shows highlights of
even
games.
then, they still have to pay like their certain licensing and fees and stuff, or they'll get permission to do so. That's why you see when you see footage of them walking around or something, you always just show you always hands and stomachs or feet and something like that. They never really show people's faces walking around unless they're directly interviewing the person. But if they're talking,
only when they're talking about fat people,
right? That's
if
always
they're talking
the
about
stomach.
fat people, all you see is stomach and asses.
And maybe just like someone holding a burger up to their mouth
Yeah.
or something. But no, when they're doing highlights of the games, they still have to get permission to do so. Like, for example, I'll give you one of the things I had to deal with. So the very first internship I had for music was with a record label called DM Records. And their whole thing was they didn't really have original artists. They bought up tons of different libraries. One of the songs that they owned was Whoop, There It Is. Remember from
Of
the
course.
80s, 90s? And they licensed that song for everything, every little thing. Musical cards to the button. You know how that was easy, that the Staples, that was
Right,
easy
right.
kind of button? They had the same thing for Whoop, There It Is. So I had to listen to Whoop, There It Is more times than you could ever think of.
Was it Whoop There It Is that had two versions from two different people? Like there was 95 South did one version of Whoop There It Is, and another.
No, I think there was another one. Whoop, There It Is was, oh my gosh, I can't even think of the name of the band, the group. But anyway, so they had Whoop, There It Is, and then one day, Saturday Night Live did a skit, and Justin Timberlake was dressed up as a soup can, and he did a parody with the song. So they're like, oh, well, we're going to go after Saturday Night Live and sue them for using our song. Saturday Night Live obviously got away with it because it was a parody, and you can do it as a parody. That's why Weird Al Yankovic gets away with it. Had he used more of the words from the actual song, then they could have sued them. Are you looking it up now?
Well, there is two versions. Whoop There It Is tag team. Woot There It Is 95 South.
Yeah. Tag team back again. Yeah.
But there was two versions of the same. It's basically the same song.
Yeah. And they went full steam like to go after Saturday Night Live and stuff on it, and they're just like, no, it's not happening. It's a parody. If you guys do it, you're just gonna lose a ton of
parody
money.
is protected. Parody and satire is protected
Right.
under.
And if you
First
use
Amendment.
it for educational purposes, then you can still get away with it. So
Then-
that's why BJJ Scout for me kind of skirts that line, because they break it down, they talk about it, and then they show the actual clip. They might show it one time all the way through, see what happened, break it down, and then go over it again. That's why Henner can do the breakdowns, but they never show the video.
never
He
show
just
the
talks
video.
about it. That's why.
And it would be a lot cooler if they would just say, imagine if FloGrappling was cool with it, and Flo was like, yeah, you want to see the breakdown of this? Go over to our friends over at,
At BJJ Scout.
Do some reciprocal.
We'll do that collaborations, and
Yeah.
that's huge on YouTube and Instagram. You do collaborations, but the fact that you sit there and say it's such a niche community, they're showing support, and they say, you know what, fuck you, get off of it, like, and then they take down your whole account. Well, if you go look on Reddit, 95% on Reddit, people on Reddit are shitting on FloGrappling. They're like, oh, boycott FloGrappling, bootleg it.
They're
I'm
not
not paying.
gonna. No one's gonna boycott FloGrappling.
No, a ton of people have. A ton of people do.
They say they are, but they're not going to. If they want to watch,
No, because you can always bootleg it. You'll always find the video. Some videos are going to be harder to find, but you're always going to find it. That's just the way that it is. So that's why it makes no sense. Why would you piss people off instead of sitting there and doing something to help the community and just do a collaboration? You know
well,
what I mean?
look, I can see the other side because they're a business. They at some point you got to say, look, enough's enough, man.
And I get it. And there's a difference between FloGrappling and the UFC. The UFC went after people. They've been going after people for like the last year. So I get it. I'm not saying that they're wrong, but I think because it's jiu-jitsu and it's such a niche sport, it's one of those things where you could have been probably a little bit more cordial.
Understanding?
Yeah. You probably could have been a little bit more cordial about it. You got to blow your nose there?
No.
So, yeah, that's an issue that's been going on. But it kind of pissed me off. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you shit on your own people, you know?
Yeah, well, because it's not their own people. Because Flow Grappling is part of a much larger conglomerate of Flow Sports.
No, I know.
So it's like everyone's blaming who?
Hywell Teague?
Yeah. Is he a jiu-jitsu guy?
Yeah.
So it might not even have been his decision. It could have been a Flow Sports
It could have been.
decision.
For sure.
And people are blaming this dude. But it's like...
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like... It's not like he's got Flow Grappling and Flow Grappling is... That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like... there. If you look on that station, there is marching...
I'm the one that told you about it.
Band sports.
Yeah, I'm the one that told you about it. There's Flow Rugby, there's Flow Wrestling, there's tons of stuff.
Shit.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, for me, it's one of those things that a smarter business move would have been to try and pull a collaboration, or at least give them a cease and desist. But to sit there and do that to someone, now you're fucking with people's money. And again, you are still skirting the law about it, but if that was the case, then I could shut down.
But
I could
again,
shut down so many people for using my photographs. I could shut down so many people.
How is that messing with BJJ Scouts' money?
Again, if you have your business and you do stuff online, so for example, you have for us, let's say it's us. Let's say it's Jiu-Jitsu Radio. We post stuff all the time, right? And then we sell shirts, whatever it is, to support the podcast. That's where the income for the thing is. Or maybe like an affiliate or a sponsor, we make money off of something, which we don't, but if we did, and all of a sudden we get shut down, well, now you just lost your form of getting your information out there and getting your income. That's the same thing that happened with a lot of the fighters that got shut down for sharing clips of their fights from the UFC. It's like, why is the UFC taking them down? They're like, well, now I can't get to my own fans, and you're not paying me that much, so now I got to figure out something else. I got to start all over again. You see what I'm saying?
Who'd they shut down?
Well, they shut down ATT. They shut down Daru Strong, like the strength and conditioning coach for ATT. Those are like the big ones that I can think of. I know they got a couple of the fighters. They got a good couple of the fighters because of that. I think they even got Gilbert at some point, or one of the jiu-jitsu things from like Combat Club or something like that. So they shut down a lot of people. ATT got lucky that they got theirs back, but a lot of people didn't. Like I said, Lisa got hers shut down. She's not UFC affiliated, but I mean, she posted a clip. It's like, okay, is she really going to steal money out of the UFC's pocket for posting a 15, 30-second clip? And they gave me a couple of copyright claims when I've posted in the story, or I tried to post, they automatically shut it down. Or I got
lucky. Did you tag them?
No, I didn't tag them. They just, what it is there's a software that just scans everything. It just scans everything, and once it finds that clip, compares it to something else, or is it original? It's the same thing that happened with us with the intro song. So we have the clip of Ric Flair, right? It was used in the song, so they claimed the copyright from that. It wasn't Meek Mill's, it's just a robot that got turned on by the music companies. And because I filed a dispute, they're like, okay, yeah, it's just an audio clip, anybody can use it. There you go. One of the things that you see is, you ever wonder how you can find a movie on YouTube? Like, there'll just be a movie. Let's say before it was even available for rent on YouTube. What people would do is they would just speed it up or slow it down slightly, and it would throw off the bot that scans YouTube. So when you go and you watch it, it's like, why does it sound like a little more high-pitched, or maybe it's a little off-center? It throws off the bot. The bot doesn't...
I watched one of my favorite movies
Debbie Does Dallas?
Nope. I'm not telling you because I don't want it getting caught down. I'll tell you after the.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just a machine that set it off, and it's obviously getting better and better. But Facebook has it, and they have the face.
Well, yeah, like
recognition
I
now.
can't, how many times have I taken, videos with a song in it that get shut down? But what's funny is if you do it, if you add the song, you get shut down. But if you're recording like a snap video where the song is playing in the background,
you can still get in trouble for that. It counts under as a performance. So even though it's not someone actually performing, let's say if I went to a concert and I started recording it, I could get in trouble for that.
no, I mean like,
No, if you're in a restaurant or something and music's playing in the background.
no, I mean like, I'll have music playing on my phone, and I'll videotape myself skateboarding.
Yeah, because you're a 15-year-old boy.
And so if I'm doing that, it's getting all the other the sounds from the background plus the music.
Right. It can still get picked up. But it's like I said, you still can get in trouble for that. I think it's a little bit harder for it to pick it up then, but yeah, you can still get in trouble for it.
Yeah, because you're hearing skateboard wheels and you're hearing...
Yeah, and like the gravel and the cars or whatever it is. But no, even just doing that, you can still get in trouble for it. So, for example, if you see a lot of like guitar players and musicians and stuff, they'll have backing tracks and they play along on the video, like you'll get busted for that. So it has to be a cover of the song and you can play along with the cover. And even then you might still get in trouble. Like a long time ago, I did a video on my old YouTube channel, me playing a Led Zeppelin song, and it got caught off of it because I had it playing far in the background and I was playing along with it. It got picked up and it got flagged and taken off. So yeah, the technology's out there, and now
look,
that it's coming into it.
I get why they do that. Artists create, and they should get paid for their art.
Yeah, and they're not wrong. Like I said, BJJ Scout does walk the fine line, but because it's an educational thing, I think you need to allow it a pass. It'd be one of those things where if it was me, I would reach out and say, listen, you can do it under the circumstances of it's educational where you're doing a breakdown and you still give us credit and you put credit up on the video for us. Then you're okay.
Right. Like, but if it's some guy that does like a talk show,
right,
and like is just showing it, and he's got followers and monetizes everything, and he's like talking about your show and showing the clip on his show where he's getting paid, I totally understand that. But when you're just showing a breakdown and you're changing, because they do graphics and stuff, so it's like, I don't know. It sucks that happened.
And look, the digital aspect of everything copyright is still relatively new. So you are playing with fire, and actually right now YouTube still is changing a lot of stuff. So even a lot of Twitch streamers and stuff, they're going to get shut down. A lot of people are going to get shut down because either they're doing breakdowns of game trailers or movie trailers, or they're playing other people's content. So for example, for our YouTube video, if we were talking about a match, right, or a UFC fight, and in the corner we had it playing while we talked about it, instantly get pulled off. We just instantly get pulled off. That's one of the reasons why I haven't tried to do it, because it's just you're playing with fire for no reason. And I get it because they're trying to cover their asses.
Could you put something you filmed on there?
Oh, 100%. If it's something that
well, here's the question. Say you're taking pictures at Titan.
And
you film something.
Technically, I could still get in trouble because I'm filming an event that's owned by somebody else. So if you were... It's like bootlegging a concert. If I was at a fight and I'm sitting there recording it, and I've done this tons of times, like, yeah, I have tons of fight footage from all over the place. But if the UFC really wanted to say, hey, listen, you can't play that, even though it's a live recording, like, you can't play that because it's our match.
So you hear this during the playback.
No. Yeah, stop doing that. Stop chewing ice on the mic. We're not trying to do that ASRM thing.
I can't help it. I gotta do it.
So yeah, it's a weird fine line that people walk on when they do all this stuff online, which sucks, especially for jiu-jitsu, because even like Ricardo Mendiola, you know, he does the BJJ breakdowns. So technically, he could get in trouble for that.
Yeah, well, it's like we need this, you know.
And you know what I think? I think that's probably partially why, because FloGrappling is probably going to do it on their own footage, and they don't want anybody else to do it. But that's just me. Oh, by the way, you know what movie I fucking finally saw? A Quiet Place.
Was that rad?
Yes and no. I was kind of pissed off.
Why?
You can't show the monster the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Well, they didn't really show it. It
They
was a
showed it.
flash.
It's still enough.
It was no. That when the little kid got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No.
it was it was really fucking good. I liked it. Ended up not sleeping that much that night just because couldn't sleep that night. But yeah, it was really well done.
I saw Pet Cemetery.
The new one? Mm-hmm. You know, I never watched the original.
Really?
I've never even seen the original. Was it any good?
I enjoyed it.
Supposedly
They changed it.
Yeah, supposedly that movie Us has gotten mixed reviews. I'm curious to see it.
Well,
Can you not chew that? At least not play around with it in your mouth
I'm
in
not.
front of the
It's
mic.
funny how Jordan Peele got all this fanfare for Get Out,
Yeah.
and they just one movie, and he's the second coming of Alfred Hitchcock,
Right.
and so everybody was just dying for this Us to come out
Yeah.
and giving him all this praise, you know. And I admit, Get Out was a great movie.
Yeah.
He was like, it's got a great
Premise.
atmosphere. Well, but I mean, the actual directing that he does.
Yeah.
The story was great, but he wrote the story, but he also directed the film. And it had all kinds of, you know, like it was well done. I haven't seen Us.
Yeah.
But like, it's funny how they'll just latch onto it, and that's now whatever he'll do
It's gold.
is gold.
Yeah. But did you hear the lash that he got for the statement he made?
Yeah, about I
is
don't
that-
see myself putting.
A white actor as a lead role.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why people got so butthurt over that.
Well,
It's his fucking movie. He could do whatever the
no,
fuck
he
wants.
can do whatever he wants, but it's like do whatever you want. But like that's, I mean, for bottom line is it's racist. It's a racist comment to say.
But I mean, he's got white actors all in the movies.
He
Doesn't
said
matter.
as a lead.
Yeah, who cares?
Okay, let's put it this way. Imagine if Martin Scorsese came out and said, "I'm not going to put a black actor as lead."
I think he did.
No, he did not.
There's a bunch of
No.
there's a bunch of movie directors that have gone and said that.
No, I guarantee you.
I'll pull it up right now
That
because
said,
I
I would
read it.
not put a black
Yeah.
man as a
Uh-huh.
lead.
100%. Yes.
because they would not be working.
Yeah.
The only person who could ever say that would be Roman Polanski because he doesn't live in the United States.
And he's also a pedophile though. No, that was part of the argument and stuff that I was reading. Trying to pull it up, but yeah, no, there's a bunch of people that had gone and said that.
No, and if they said it, they're it's a racist comment.
No, for sure.
Regardless of who says it. If
I
you
just-
are, but
I'm listening.
here's the problem I have with that statement by Jordan Peele is Jordan Peele is mixed race.
Right.
So it's like, why would he deny a part of him? Is why would he?
I don't think it's got anything to do with
Well,
that.
look. I'm, and here's the thing. I'm all for him making those movies that with black casts and black stars or whatever. But and look, I really didn't even care that he said I wouldn't put a white person in a movie. But when you sit down and really break it, not in the movie, but as a lead in the movie, if you sit down and really think about it, it's a racist comment.
Like, I get what you're saying, but I don't think it was sent out to be that
Regardless
that way.
of what it was.
Oh, Tim Burton. Tim Burton was one of them.
What did he say?
He said, I'll pull it up right now. Let's see. He made a comment about that.
Because think about it. Who wouldn't want to put Samuel L. Jackson, Denzel Washington, trying to think of some really
Idris Elba.
Terry
Crews.
Who wouldn't want to put them as a
Jamie
maybe
Foxx.
maybe not Terry Crews.
Why?
As a lead?
Yeah, why not?
No, he's not. He's not lead material. He's awesome, but he's not lead material. But Jamie Foxx, Chris Rock, there's a bunch of incredibly talented black actors that if I was a director, I would love to, I would be blessed if I could get one of those guys in a movie. So, but to say I wouldn't put a white person as the lead, or say I don't see myself putting a white person.
Listen, man,
in the
I don't
lead.
give a shit. It's his movies. He
Yeah,
can do whatever the fuck he wants to do. And I think
But
there's
it's-
enough white lead actors in movies and stuff. Like,
But it's not that's not the point.
Yeah,
The
I'm not
point-
gonna get into it. I'm going to switch
You're
subjects.
the one that brought it up.
I'm just switching subjects.
The
I would
point,
say
the point
that-
is the bottom line is if the shoe was on the other foot, there would have been an explosion in Hollywood.
Yes, but then we're not talking about hundreds of years of racism towards white people. It's a whole other different way.
White people are still slaves.
And I'm not gonna get into it. Listen. I think he can say whatever the fuck he wants. He can do whatever he wants. I'm totally for him not putting a bunch of white people in the leads. I'm totally good for it.
Do whatever you want. It's what you say. That's the problem.
I don't give a shit. You can say whatever the fuck you want. If he was truly racist, then I think it would have come out. I don't think he's racist. I don't think.
Yeah, but would you if Martin Scorsese said it, would you be like, I'm not going to watch a Martin Scorsese movie?
For sure.
Yeah, exactly.
But
it's the same thing.
Yeah, but again, I think it's the what he said and why he said it, and it'd be different if it was from a legitimately racist aspect.
So there's double standard, is what you're saying.
I don't know if I would say it's a double standard as much as the actual reasoning behind it, but it is what it is. Oh man, I'm fucking exhausted, man.
What's funny is I like Michael Keegan.
Keegan? Who the hell is Michael Keegan?
His partner, Key and Peele.
Oh,
his comedy partner. Dude, did you ever watch what was the movie about the cat?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. No, I only watched the first 20 minutes of that.
Keanu,
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Keanu, shout out to my friend Shawn Ryan from Vigilance Elite. He he instructed Keanu Reeves for the next John Wick movie. He was his tactical weapons teacher.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude.
I shared it the other day. I shared the video. So shout out to Vigilance Elite.
Everybody on this planet should try to reach the level of human being that Keanu Reeves is.
He is, I don't know, I never met him, so I'm sure he's a good human being.
Have you heard the stories of what he does?
I know he gave away all the money that he made from one movie. He gave away
Matrix movies to his stunt teams.
Did he?
Yes. He also bankrolls 7 different children hospitals.
Yeah.
He took care of his sister when she had when she was dying of leukemia or something like that. He's just one of the most generous and genuine people when you hear these stories.
Yeah.
I just saw this thing. He got stuck in an airport.
Yeah, I saw that.
And went on a road trip with some random people.
No, they got stuck at the airport, and then everybody was complaining, and then he ended up taking the bus with everybody.
Yeah, he takes
Well, I mean, that's not some humanitarian thing. It was
No,
he got
but-
stuck
but-
traveling. It's cool to say I
he
took
takes
public transportation.
subway in New York whenever he's in New York.
Yeah.
It's he is a
clearly-
massive star. He's an A-list
Yeah.
star.
At least he's clearly smart with his money. So
Yeah. He's I have more money than I'll ever need. That's why
Yeah.
he gave all of the money he made from the Matrix movies to his stunt teams.
yeah,
That's crazy.
That's pretty cool though. I was thinking the other day. It's kind of the last couple of weeks have been kind of eye opening for me, as far as age-wise and like athleticism-wise, like I've seen like a lot of people. I've met a guy who's a friend of my dad who has early onset Parkinson's. Super intelligent guy, and he like having a conversation with him, like you can tell he's super intelligent, but it takes him like a minute to turn to start talking to you. I mean, like he can't even look at you, like, because it takes so much. But the conversation's slow, but it's a good conversation. So I noticed that, and I like a bunch of other things that I kind of ran into, and it was throwing me off a little bit. Just kind of seeing how long could someone really do some kind of sport and all of a sudden like get it taken away or something. Imagine, like even now for you, right?
I'm there.
Right?
Think about where I was
to now. Right. Difference is, if you really wanted to, you could. It would hurt you. Like, you could get hurt very easily, but you could still kind of lightly roll. Like, if you and I rolled, like, you'd be fine because we're not going to go, like...
Well, no, I'm trying to roll hard again.
Right.
Like, that's the goal, is to get back. Like, I've come to accept that this is a permanent injury.
Right.
Like, it's not going away.
Yeah.
The only thing that'll make it maybe go away is I might get PRP.
I told you got to do it.
Yeah, I know, but when I get the money to do PRP, I'll
Well, talk to the guys. They might be able to help you out.
PRP, and eventually I'd love to be able to go down to like Panama and get that whole stem cell treatment.
That's going to be super expensive, though.
Yeah, obviously, but like that's when you have the kind of money you can
to fly down to Panama to do surgeries.
Right. Well, it's just an IV drip.
Yeah.
But I've come to accept that that's what that is, and I either have to find a way to train around it or I don't train. So like I trained today. We did 4 6-minute rounds.
Right.
But my body feels it. Like my hip and my lower back were not feeling good a couple hours ago.
But to sit there and say, fuck, man. Like, Johnny Got His Gun, the book Johnny Got His Gun?
Yes.
So that's what the song One from Metallica is based off of. Have you ever read it?
I haven't read it.
It's super fucked up.
I know
read
the story.
It. So I have the book. I read it. And it's... When I see stuff like that, I'm thinking, man, you're trapped into your own body. So something like Muhammad Ali had and what this gentleman had, where all of a sudden everything starts getting taken away from you. How traumatizing would it be for that to happen, for like even like your jiu-jitsu or anything?
Well, it's traumatizing. It'll be traumatizing if you are wrapped up in that identity of that. If that is who you think you are,
right,
then yes, it's going to destroy you. But if it's just an aspect of who you are, and you realize that...
Are you talking about jiu-jitsu, or are you talking about...
I'm talking about anything like some physical sport. Like, say you're a bike... you could be a bike rider, or you could be... a skateboarder, you could be a surfer, you could be, a jiu-jitsu guy, you could be somebody that runs marathons. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. If that's who you are, like if that's like everything that who you hold value in yourself is wrapped up in that activity, and we've seen them.
Yeah.
I saw a car going down the road with like 37, 26.1 stickers on it, the marathon stickers.
21.6 or something like
that. Yeah, or 26.2 and 13.1. Like I saw, like, so that person is obviously they're obviously a runner. So like if that's their identity and all of a sudden they can't run, it's going to destroy them. But if you see yourself as...
But let's say like for you, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say, Shawn, today's the last day you're ever going to be able to get to do jiu-jitsu. Let's say after today you're done. You can't.
It would suck, but it wouldn't destroy me.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Why?
Because I know what I've already accomplished.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So it'd be something you could walk away from?
Mm-hmm. If I had to.
If you had to.
I don't want to make that decision.
Right.
But if it was taken away tomorrow, I had a good run. You know what I'm saying? And it's like... And I still have the knowledge and the experience of it in my head.
Right.
That can never be taken away.
I mean, technically it could.
Well, yes, but what I'm saying is, if I couldn't do jiu-jitsu tomorrow, it would suck, and I'd be depressed for a minute.
What
but
would
it wouldn't destroy me. I wouldn't have to rebuild myself.
It's part of who you are, not who you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we know a lot of people that is who they are. If jiu-jitsu disappeared tomorrow, they would be lost.
I mean, there's a lot. I think for me, I would definitely be lost, but I would be able to find something else. I'm just one of those people where it's like, okay, I can't do that. What can I do? Let's do that. And do I want to do that? I'm okay with being able, like, the biggest thing for me funny enough, was making the decision of stepping away from the music industry when it was something that I wanted to do since I was 6 years old.
Yeah, but at the same time, you got something is awesome. Like, I wanted to be a pro wrestler until I got a glimpse behind the curtain. And you realize, oh,
yeah,
it's just another business.
Yeah, well, it's, like they say, they, never meet your heroes.
Yeah, same thing. So, like, if you went a different route instead of doing the marketing route that you did, imagine if you went the artist route instead.
I would still love it, but I've seen the damage it does when someone can't be that rock star anymore.
Right.
I've seen those aging rock stars, and we talked about it before. I've seen those aging rock stars where they're holding on for dear life, where they're 80 years old, but they're trying to dress like they're
and dress like
they're trying to dress like they're still 30.
Like, I think Steven Tyler and Joe Perry look like elderly. They look like grandmothers.
Elderly women.
They look like elderly women.
There's the meme about Steven Tyler like that.
Really?
Yeah.
They just, that's what they look like. They start, the more facial surgery they get, the more they resemble just
housewives of
like an old woman, and it's like they all start looking the same, and like they're coloring their hair. Like, there was somebody like Smokey Robinson. Still has jet black hair in his, I think he's in his early 80s or late 70s.
Yeah.
Something like that. Come on, Smokey.
Man, don't hate us. Like, Smokey Robinson can do whatever the hell he wants.
His face is so shiny.
Yeah.
Because his skin is so tight.
Yeah. Well, that's...
Look at Kenny Rogers, too.
Rob Lowe was like that for a little while.
Yeah.
And he got it, like, fixed. He actually looks better now.
Why don't you people just need to age. Look.
Listen, I understand when it comes to someone that's in the limelight and age becomes a serious thing. When it comes to the entertainment industry...
But look at Keith Richards. Look at
yeah, but Keith, that's different when you're someone where...
Mick Jagger.
Well, yeah, he had to stop the tour. He
had to stop the tour. No, he
had a kid like a couple years ago.
Valve replacement.
Yeah, he had a kid a couple years ago.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, they don't get.
Can you imagine being 80 and you got a baby?
Yeah,
brand new born infant.
New baby.
How do you deal with that? That's when you know you're gonna hire somebody else to take care of that baby.
Well, yeah, of course. I don't think he's ever.
He's not waking up at 2:00 in the morning to feed no baby. Let's be honest.
No way. That's Mick Jagger, dude. Mick Jagger's not gonna do that shit.
I mean, you never
know.
But
like, real men should age gracefully. They should just go. Like, look at me. I lost my hair.
Okay, hold on. Don't do that.
What?
Don't do that. Say real men age gracefully. Like, look at me. I fucking like.
No. What I'm saying is, I lost my hair, right? I started thinning. Right. I could have went the route of Bosley and like trying all kinds of things to hold on to my hair.
Yeah.
And doing whatever I could, but
How about?
I couldn't.
Funny enough, you bring that up. So since last night, I couldn't sleep. So I'm like 3:00 in the morning. I'm just scrolling through Reddit, and someone posted a photo. It's like a video game glitch, and it was somebody's hair on the bus that he had it poofed, and it was so thin that you could see he had hair, like the top very layer, but if you look through, the light shined right through it.
Was it from the back? Was it from the back?
And then he moved his head, but every angle you look at, the light would shine right through, but you could see he had a dome of thinning hair that he just gracefully somehow combed over. No, that is just fucking art.
But it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If you're going bald, That's nature's way of saying you
But
should
some
be
people
bald.
are too insecure about it,
Right,
man.
I know. I get
I mean,
it.
I don't give a shit. Look, I'm growing my hair out for a reason. I want to do it, whatever. I want to donate it. It is what it is. But if I had to fucking lose it, I shave my head before. It is what it is. Do I think I'm the best looking bald headed guy? For sure, not the case. For sure, not the case. Am I the best looking long haired guy? Definitely not.
Talk about ugly head.
Yo, for sure.
I got the ugliest head ever. I got wrinkles and bumps and crevices.
Like, you want to know something funny? Like, full disclosure, the first time I saw, like, all the ridges in your head, I was super grossed the fuck out. I had never fucking seen that before, ever.
Oh, yeah.
I'd never seen that before.
Tons of people like that. Lee's like that.
No, where he doesn't have grooves like yours.
Yes, he does.
I've
Lee
never
has
seen
grooves like me.
Really? I've
Yeah.
never seen that. Not as deep as yours. You got fucking Grand
Well,
Canyons on your
be,
skull.
mine might be deeper, but Lee's got the grooves.
But, like, I don't. I shaved my head, and I was a fucking...
Not everybody has it. But Daryl Gardner had it. He was a football player for the Miami Dolphins.
Where's it come from? Like, maybe, like...
I have no idea.
Did you wear, like, too many helmets when you were growing up?
No. I don't know. I didn't always have them.
What do you mean you didn't always have them? They
I
just
didn't
happened?
always have them. They grew over the years.
I know what happened. You had the Barry Bonds issue. You, like, juiced up, your head got big, and then you stopped juicing, and it shrunk.
No, I wish that was the case. I wish I would have gotten huge. That would have been awesome.
You wish you would have had a big head?
No, I wish I would have been jacked.
But that's what happened to Barry Bonds. His head got bigger. He, like, grew, like, 5 hat sizes or something outrageous like that. Oh, what time is it? I should probably wrap it up soon. Yeah, but you got a big old head size. But that was the first time I saw... Actually, you know what's funny? I think you lost some. I think you lost some of the grooves. Because they definitely used to be a lot more than that.
Well, when you lose, it's probably the weight I lost.
Are you still losing, or are you, like,
well,
plateaued?
No, I've plateaued, obviously, because I'd be rail thin by now. But
What do you weigh now?
still about 275.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No, but I want to get down to, like, 255.
I don't think you could do 250.
Lean, mean, grappling machine.
I don't think you could do 250.
What do you mean? You don't think I can get down there?
I don't think you would be able to because of your body shape.
You
would have to do some serious cutting to get to 250.
It's only 25 pounds.
No, but you did a huge change in your diet. Like, what would you change in your diet that would help you get down even leaner?
I'd have to cut more calories.
I think you would just have to start running like crazy. You'd have to start swimming or start running like crazy.
Yeah, I'd have to do both. One or the other.
I don't think you'd have it in you.
I could do it if I didn't do everything else that I do. I'd have to get rid of Jiu-Jitsu, and I'd have to get rid of yoga.
No, I think you'd probably still have to do them.
I couldn't.
How come you stopped doing the DDT yoga?
Huh? Because I'm doing real yoga.
I mean, DDT yoga is real yoga.
DDP.
DDP. DDT is the move.
Is Jake the Snake's finisher. Yeah. No, it's great stuff. It's just I'm doing other stuff. I'm doing real yoga in a real hot studio. It's heated studio. So
are there hot chicks in your hot studio?
There are some good-looking girls in the class. Yeah, for sure.
Nice. Oh man. So what do you got going on this week?
My mom's here for another day, so we're gonna go out to dinner tomorrow night, and then she leaves on.
Tell your mom I said hi.
I will. She leaves Thursday, and then I get Petey on Thursday, and I'll have him through the weekend, which will be nice.
Nice.
I tell you what happened to him. You didn't know? So not this Wednesday that passed, but the one previous, Tracy called me up freaking out. Petey couldn't stand up. He kept falling over.
Yeah.
So met her out at the vet, left work, met her out at the vet, and he was diagnosed with vertigo.
Really?
Yes. So for the last 2 weeks, he's been getting a steady diet of Dramamine.
Oh.
Poor thing, man. When
super high.
When I got there to the vet, his eyes were going back and forth because he's trying to track the room because they're spinning on him. And so he's still having a few issues. He's not 100% in the clear yet.
Yeah.
But he stayed. So I had him for a while because he couldn't do stairs. So.
Man, that was the fucking worst. They can't do the Epley maneuver on a dog.
They can't do an Epley maneuver to a dog, man.
That sucks.
It just has to run its course.
I was just having this conversation last night with someone about vertigo. Because remember when I got it?
Yeah.
I got it the week of the tournament.
Do you remember when I got it?
Yeah.
I got it in class.
Yeah.
I was running a warm up, and then I turned my head,
And just douche.
and I went, "Oh,
Yeah.
that was the worst."
It happened to me when I was sleeping. The first time that I got it, I was sleeping. And I remember I just turned in bed, and I felt like I got thrown out of an airplane while I was spinning. And I gripped the bed with a cold sweat. I was drenched in sweat. Never fucking again. And it happened to me the week of a tournament. It happened the week of Miami Open. It was so fucking bad. Clearly, I lost the first match. I was actually proud of myself that I managed to go through the match, even with the vertigo, and I didn't quit. I just didn't have the strength in me to keep going, which I could have easily won that match, but
I was a wreck.
yeah.
I remember I still taught class. I just couldn't do anything.
Yeah, you were just sitting the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was anytime I turned my head to the left, my world.
Yeah.
My world.
But
went.
you never collapsed. I collapsed. So
No, I collapsed when I tried to get up.
yeah.
Remember, I tried to stand up and
Right.
and I fell. I was like, "Whoa!"
It literally looks like you got sniped. Because that's what happened to me. I was walking by the couch and I looked down and all of a sudden, doosh, my legs completely gave out. Completely gave out. All right, I think we're going to call it up a wraps. It's getting late. I need to sleep. I haven't slept in 2 days. But anything else we got to catch up on before we
Not
go?
that I know of.
Nothing you got to say?
Nope. Just might have a few people doing the Miami Open on the 11th of May.
Nice. I'll be there. I'm competing. I might actually try and do the New York Open too. See if I can get some cheap tickets. I got a wedding to go to this weekend, so I can't do New Breed. But we'll see. We'll get there. Shout out to all of our sponsors. Thank you again to Choke Aloha, Giraffe Choke, Jiu-Jitsu Soapco, and Nomad Surf Shop. Be sure to follow Shawn at Gorilla Boy BJJ. Follow me at Sonder Marketing, and follow the podcast on Instagram at Jiu-Jitsu Radio. If you see anything that you want us to talk about, go ahead and shoot us a message. We'll get it to you. And we got a lot of guests planned in the next couple of weeks, so we'll see what we can make it happen for you guys. Well, with that being said, have a good week, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.
Peace.